Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to our third session event this week for Artsmark Celebration Week. I'm absolutely delighted to be joined by Harriet Gavan-Duffy from the Elland Academy, who's going to tell us all about the Elland Academy's Artsmark Journey and all the fantastic work that's done in her setting. So welcome, Harriet. It's great to have you with us.
Absolutely here.
Thank you. So Harriet, just before we start, would you mind just telling us a little bit about the Elland Academy and giving us some context about your setting?
Yeah, sure. Our school, the Elland Academy, is an all-through alternative provision. Now, by the all-through, we go from Key Stage 2 all the way through to Key Stage 4. We used to be on 2 sites, but we're lucky now we can operate from the 1 site. So all of our staff are together and all of our children are together in different parts of the building. We offer placements for students from Leeds and the Bradford and Wakefield Authority areas who are maybe struggling to stay in mainstream school through a variety of reasons. Some of them may come with EHCPs already, but all of them, every single one of them, has diagnosed or undiagnosed special needs. Most of our students are at real risk of permanent exclusion. There's about 120 on roll. This fluctuates because we do have leavers and joiners. We offer at Key Stage 3 a 6 or a 12-week placement to the students to really re-engage them in learning, really try and get them back on track, back into mainstream school. That's really our goal at Key Stage 2 and 3. At Key Stage 4, many of our students will stay with us for the full of the Key Stage 4 if they come in year 10 or if they come in year 11. We have a blended offer for them. Some stay on site with us 5 days a week. Some go out to college placements 2 days and are in 3 days. And we also use some other off-site providers so that they can have a mixture, and it just breaks up the week for them for those that really need it. But all of our students still sit under our wide pastoral umbrella. So they're very much monitored and looked after by us at the Elland.
Thank you, Harriet. That's such a great overview. And I was lucky enough to be able to visit your setting. My goodness, a few months back now. I think it was the summer when it was nice and warm.
It was a very hot day, I remember.
It was. Yeah, I remember too. And myself and 2 colleagues from the Arts Council were able to come and just see firsthand, you know, all of the fantastic work that goes on in your setting, and meet your brilliant pupils as well, and all of your staff. And I know from that visit, you know, just how important and valuable the arts and creativity is in your setting. Would you? Yeah, it was really, really strong, and I just would love it if you could share with everyone who's going to be watching a little bit more about the role that the arts plays in your setting and creativity, and what kind of profile it has as well.
I am really lucky to be working here, and because creativity and arts is such a central, strong philosophy. It runs throughout our curriculum and is massively encouraged and also funded, massively important. And it's a very positive attribute to our school, which our principals and executive principals big up hugely. Many of our children come to us with very low self-esteem. Art and craft activities can boost their confidence, give them a much deeper sense of self-worth. We use arts and crafts to engage them back into learning. As I said before, when I described the type of provision, it's very important particularly with the key stage 2 and 3, that quickly we get them to trust and be back engaged with education. And we do this not just through art as a subject itself, but in other subjects as well. It's a very practical curriculum. So most lessons are taught using practical or physical exercises to help to get the children back enthused by learning. We also have, we also operate in a way, we are a Thrive School of Excellence. Now, Thrive is an approach to working whereby it's we start with a diagnostic tool, and it goes through lots of different questions about the children, and it will come up with the areas where they may have lacked developmentally. Okay, so when they were younger, it could have been when they were babies, it could have been when they were in primary school, and through the diagnostic tool it will identify areas that they still need, and then give ideas for activities where these needs can be met, these needs can be fulfilled. Arts and crafts and creative strategies are frequently used for this. For example, in early years education, there's a big area of developmental learning where loose objects are used, loose parts it's called in early years. Now, for me, in some of my artworks and art lessons, I will use found objects. So it's the same as loose parts, but it's found objects. So although the terms are different, the actual teaching and the actual strategies are no different whatsoever. And that can, in that particular instance, fulfill, and if done regularly enough, different kinds of use of it, if done regularly enough, can fill that gap that has been left for those children. So such as having things like this around, which is, I don't know if you can see it brilliantly here. So I make pieces of artwork from found objects. Yep. This is only a tiny example of all the treasures I keep in my classroom.
Wonderful.
And, you know, even if it's just at a time when children aren't formally making artwork, they do like to look through the treasures. There's something very tactile and sensory about looking and sorting and gathering the things together, making shapes with them. I can't show you. There's a massive box anyway. This is just a little selection of them.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. Yeah.
Our lovely cleaner brought me another full wrap of all things that could be used for making artwork, from stuff that she was about to give away to the charity shop.
Fantastic.
And it does excite the children, the no drawing aspect, particularly when they've had maybe, well, when they have low self-esteem, when they don't believe in themselves, and when they may not have had any success before in art. So yeah, creativity is a bit of a whole school approach.
And something that really struck us, Harriet, when we visited your school as well, is that we saw lots of different types of art forms in action through all of the classes and subjects that we visited. And something that really stuck out to me when you were talking there was when we went into the English lesson and the class were learning all about Macbeth.
Yeah. And
they were exploring the characters through a little bit of role play,
drama,
some theatre, and a little bit of thought tracking, where they were able to say what they felt the characters were feeling and just really bring that scene to life. So we saw theatre, we saw drama, we saw creative writing, we saw music, singing, we saw visual art embedded throughout your setting. So that kind of experience was you could just see it and feel the art and creativity going on everywhere across the school, which was such a privilege to witness as well, and to see and to be part of. So, you know, I'd like you to talk to us now a little bit about your pupils' well-being. So for a lot of schools at the moment and settings, obviously emotional health and well-being particularly is very, very high on the agenda. How does the arts and creativity support your pupils' well-being, do you think, within the school?
Well, well-being for us is one of our massive agenda items, because we are SEMH school. So most, if not all, of our students have some kind of emotional difficulties. To help support this, on a Monday morning, we have an extended form time. This is just part of how we support this. We have an extended form time. In that form time, we will have arts and crafts activities to help support that. It could range from a simple colouring task to a pattern making, or it could be a crafting activity. Some of them are bought in packs, some of them things I've created, some things I've found online. Sometimes it's individual type activities, and sometimes it's a group activity. And frequently, as it's all about choice, we may have an individual activity going alongside a group activity, because maybe that student doesn't feel like working with anybody today, and that's fine as well. It can make the difference for our students, hitting that on a Monday morning, having that space to really explore something, maybe talk about the feelings at the same time. Having that opportunity on a Monday morning can make the difference between them being ready to learn through the week, or carrying the baggage of the weekend, the week, the past with them. We also teach the, I'm not sure whether you've heard of it, the zones of regulation, which is occupational therapists' series of lessons and series of teaching with children, so that they can understand their emotions a lot better. Now, it's quite practical as it is. It's a very useful tool for helping children to be able to manage their emotions themselves. And we teach that in a very practical way. So all of our children at Key Stage 2 and Key Stage 3 learn about the zones of regulation, and they learn about their 4 zones of regulation. So, for example, when we're talking about the emotions in the red zone, green zone, blue zone, or the yellow zone, the children have made, I meant to bring an example with me, they've made lolly sticks with the little shapes on the top, so that they can hold them up, and again, practical. The children don't have to use their words. They maybe don't have the vocabulary to describe the emotions anyway, but they can signify the emotions using the lolly sticks. And it's just another example of how we use creativity in all areas of what we do.
Such a brilliant examples. Thank you, Harriet. And the first time I've heard of it maybe does happen elsewhere, but this is the first time I've heard of kind of exploring emotions through art on a Monday morning, particularly for that, and why that's so effective. Because there is this thing, isn't there, about Monday morning, you know, for a lot of people, Monday morning or Sunday night blues or Monday morning blues. Oh, you know, a lot of people find Monday mornings quite difficult, and just taking that time at the beginning of the week to kind of gather, you know, maybe what happened over the weekend, and setting your focus on the week ahead is just such a brilliant idea. And yeah, everything that else that you said as well about zones and zones regulations, I think that's great. Is there any other impact that you've seen on on your pupils in different ways as well through the arts. So thinking about maybe progress or maybe attainment or engagement or personal development in different ways.
Definitely.
Is anything you can talk about there too? I think
Definitely. In terms of progress, art remains a popular subject as a GCSE, but and the results, they all leave, all the students who choose to take art GCSE all leave with a qualification in art, a GCSE qualification in art. But sort of as a wider kind of measure of impact and progress, lots of our children come to us with a difficulty in concentration, a very low attention span. And we'll do a little bit of work and then, you know, fly off, do something else, get distracted. I have seen, particularly with Key Stage 2 and 3, who are with us for a very short period of time and have a very practical curriculum, slightly different in Key Stage 4 because they have exam subjects. I have seen that when they first come to us, that very short attention span, but very, very quickly, and I can't attribute it all to art. I think a part of it is our creative and practical curriculum, but very quickly you can see that their attention span has increased. So they will sit for longer in class, they will work for longer in class, and they can handle a longer period of concentration, which it's a massive, massive skill, which will serve them through life. It is attributed to the general practical curriculum, absolutely it is, but I think specifically because the creative stuff that we do for all of the different subjects can really grab them, and once they've understood that they can increase their concentration levels and their attention span for longer periods of time, you know, they know that they can achieve, so they can make progress.
Something else that struck me as well, Harriet, in my visit was you know, for children to actually be creative, they need to feel that they're in an environment where they feel safe and they feel, you know, inspired by. And I noticed as teacher of art, specifically in your art room, from memory, was there some music playing in the background? There was a little bit of some, I think there was some music. So that immediately, and I remember one of your pupils saying, "Oh, can we put this song on?" I remember that. So that choice, you know, and everyone was like, "Yeah, let's play that." And there was a real sharing of, you know, that kind of feeling of belonging in a way. So Artsmark is very much about that, about looking at how you can encourage your pupils to feel a sense of belonging and ownership in the Artsmark journey, but also in the environment and the space. And that's something that really struck me on my visit. So that really helps, young people kind of develop their sense of self and creativity, I think, when they're in the right space. So
that's right. And the choice, and it's not a totally free choice. That there does have to be some kind of parameters for acceptability, you know. And as all you teachers watching will know, that, you know, there has to be some kind of ruling as to, you know, what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. But a bit of music alongside, and a bit of just adds to the vibrancy of the atmosphere.
Brilliant. And I wonder, it was really interesting how that might impact, because everyone was creating a piece of art at that time. Everybody was adding, you know, and it would be very interesting to know, how did the music or the environment impact on the type of art that was created. I thought it was I thought it was really interesting. I thought it was great. So that leads me on then to we saw lots of examples, brilliant examples of artwork that your pupils had created. And I'd be interested to have you tell us about, how do you celebrate and showcase, and what different ways do you do that, your pupils work through the arts in your setting?
Well, we have our students' artwork is up all around the school. It as you can see behind me,
yes
this
wonderful.
was
Yeah.
this was a collaborative piece. It's actually two panels, and it was a collaborative piece that the students created on Data Create. So at our school, we slightly doctored the Data Create, and it became Data Create and Collaborate. And the reason for that is because a lot of our students find it very difficult to work with other people. They find it difficult to communicate. They find it difficult to take turns, to share. And so a lot of many of our projects are collaborative projects. So behind me is Gustav Klimt's The Kiss, done by, an interpretation of, done by all of the students. So different students worked on different parts of it through probably about 2 or 3 days. So it's there, it's displayed now, all ready to be seen. Around the rest of the academy are other pieces of artwork that the students have created. We also have what we call student showcase. So on the last Wednesday of every half term, the students are encouraged to invite their parents in, parents and carers in, and they can meet the teaching staff, look at books, and obviously see the environment of the academy. We've only just started to do that, and it was a popular session, the last one we did, and we'll have another one at the end of this term. We also have what's called Proud Thursday, but this is a whole trust thing. So that the Delta Trust have this in all of their schools, and we do it as well, where on a Thursday we can send an alert to the leadership team, and they'll come up if a student has done a particularly lovely piece of work, whatever subject, the leadership will come and take a photograph, and that is tweeted on the school Twitter feed. So again, it's opportunity for the student to be celebrated and their work to be showcased outside of school.
That's brilliant. And you talked a little bit there about connecting with your wider school community, so connecting with your families, parents, carers, and through coming into the school and seeing the work. What do you find, what kind of impact does that have on your families? Do you feel that through those visits and seeing the work that they feel more connected to what's happening in school? And
absolutely,
through the
absolutely.
artwork specifically,
it puts faces behind the phone calls and the emails, and also because many of our students have been out of school for some time, many of them have been very negative about school. It is really lovely, and the majority of times it is really lovely for the parents to come in and see a change in that negativity, a change to a positive attitude, and see, for example, their attendance having increased, and them to be talking positively about their school experience, and seeing the book, seeing the work, and seeing that, you know, that their child is actually getting on and you know, having a nice time, having a positive educational experience, which it may not have been before.
That's brilliant to hear, because I think that's definitely an area that many schools and settings have said that since COVID and lockdown especially, it can be really hard to engage their families and parents again with the school. And the arts is a brilliant way, now that we can all meet in person and we can do that, bringing parents back in through the arts, as you say, you know, and celebrating everyone's talents and skills. It's just fantastic that we can look at ways to do that again. So your example was great, Harriet. I'm also thinking now, so in terms of Artsmark, Harriet,
yeah,
is there anything else you wanted to say, sorry, before we move on, about the wider community or anything like that before we move on?
Just, I suppose we do have regular tours, because we have Key Stage 3 and 2 students coming in and joining us throughout the academic year. There are regular tours of parents and the host schools staff. So again, they will see the environment, they see the students' work, the current students' work exhibited throughout, because they always attend after the end of the school day. Just, it makes it so much easier. So they see an empty school, but in its full glory, with all its lovely displays on show.
Yeah, fantastic. That's brilliant. So, and with Artsmark, Harriet, you as a setting, you are on your way towards, well, you submitted your statement of commitment in June, I think. So you're kind of still at the beginning of your Artsmark journey, those kind of 2 years of making a difference. So are you able to talk to us about your specific kind of goals and aspirations that you're currently working on? So what kind of change do you want to see as a result of Artsmark?
I wouldn't say it's a huge change, Yvonne, but significant impact for me. I would like to see our students leaving the Elland with a positive attitude to arts and culture. It's not necessarily measurable by data. It's measurable in many other ways. I want them to leave with a feeling of success. Now, whether that's when they leave after having done GCSEs, or when they leave going back to their mainstream school at Key Stage 3. If they've done GCSE with me, that they might be leaving with a fantastic portfolio of work. But if not, they will have had experiences of art. They will have, because they can't possibly get away from it. They will have seen and used art and culture and been in the creative environment. Because we use the Thrive approach in everything we do, there is also the sort of cultural approach as well. So just, yes, I want them to be successful. I want the impact to be that our school continues to be a very creative curriculum and a practical approach to everything. But really, it's that the children leave with a sense of understanding of the art and culture that we have in our society.
That's brilliant, Harriet. And I was going to ask you this question a little bit later, but do you mind if I ask it now? Because I think it feeds in quite nicely to what you're saying. And it's about CPD, really. So a lot of schools in Artsmark will also look at, you know, their staff and well-being, as well as, you know, what kind of skills and knowledge and expertise do we need our staff to develop in order to be able to continue work within school, like once the Artsmark journey finishes, perhaps. Have you got, I mean, do you currently lead any CPD, or are there any plans to deliver that as well?
We have once per term. We have a CPD which is Artsmark specific, and we have I've led a session on making and sketching and different ways of displaying things. Frequently, if something is done quite quickly, and it's not necessarily, it doesn't look great on the little sort of scrap of paper it's on. However, if you put it together with lots of other pieces from the same class or from different classes, then it can have some impact. So that kind of little tricks in order to be a little bit precious about something that might not be, and might be a little bit throw away, but put with others, and an accumulation of such like, you know, that can look good displayed differently. Another one, displaying things on umbrellas and having the umbrella on the ceiling upturned. Another example, different type of display. So that was one of my CPD sessions. We've also had drama from our wonderful HLTA, who is a drama specialist. And so she has done some sessions with staff to very practical sessions to look at how they could include drama and storytelling as part of delivering the subject content within their lessons. We are very much, the culture at our school very much is a team approach. And so we do learn from each other, and we, you know, we're very positive about working together, and finding solutions together and helping each other out. So yes, the CPD does help with that. And, you know, everybody is understanding that, you know, the Artsmark and the Artsmark Journey, and using those practical solutions in class is for the betterment of our students' educational experience.
That's absolutely brilliant. And I think as well, you know, you can, the leadership within your setting is really, really strong. And because of that, and because the leadership team advocate for the arts and, you know, really do, that what you talked about earlier, Harriet, in terms of the profile of the arts in the school is so high and so strong that cascades down to everyone within the school, and that you all work as a team. So everyone's got a shared understanding and appreciation about why the arts is important. So that communication is really clear. And I think, you know, what you've just described is a brilliant example of that. When everyone knows, shares that appreciation, the CPD that takes place is so much more meaningful and effective.
That's right. You know, we're all looking for solutions to try and make things better. In our lessons and in our general delivery of what we need to do. We're good at sharing.
And that's brilliant as well, because, and it's I think some teachers sometimes perhaps who maybe feel, well, I'm not an art specialist, or I haven't trained in this, or, you know, there's kind of a little bit maybe of reluctance, perhaps a little bit more reluctance, and thinking, well, can I do this? And I think the great thing about your setting, and others as well that have had this approach, where it's okay to, you know, this is about learning something new. We'll try and test some ideas as well, and we'll all learn along the way, and together we'll do it together. And it's that sense of collaboration that's really important.
Collaboration,
you know,
so massively important.
So I think that's really good advice, Harriet, that you've just shared for other schools as well, to think about that, because that can be a little bit of a challenge to bring everyone on board with it. So that's great advice. In terms of, just lastly then, Harriet, I was going to ask about for Artsmark, like building partnerships is a really quite a key part of it, and that's partnerships with other schools, but also partnerships with the arts and cultural sector as well. Can you tell us any partnerships that you've worked on or you've had experience with that you think have had a real impact?
Well, next week we've got a local artist coming in we have a big wall, well, at the moment it's a white wall. In the canteen we have a big wall which we are going to again, collaboratively work with the artist. The group of 16 students will design and then be a part of the graffiti style decor for the wall, which will celebrate the uniqueness of the Elland Academy. So, for example, they will be including pictures of our pets, because we're a school, we have chickens and we have a school dog.
Yes.
And we have 2 birds. We've got a new pet as well.
What's that?
Got Abacus, the bearded dragon.
Oh, wow. I have a funny feeling. Did I meet a bearded dragon when I was there? I can't remember.
You might have done.
I think maybe.
Yes, he was
Abacus,
there.
like,
he was there then.
Literally
Yes,
just arrived.
We talked about having the pets do some.
That was amazing.
Have some part of the collaborative paintwork.
Yeah, fantastic.
So and include all of those things, like such as forest schools. So we go down into the woods, and we want to include that, because not all schools, well, very few schools have these opportunities, and it does make us unique. So looking at all of this to try and put it together as imagery and have it on our canteen wall, where it will be viewed every day by all of the students.
That's fantastic.
So that's happening next week, in fact.
Brilliant. Are you going to be sharing photos of the wall and
everything?
So we'll look out for those. I'm sure it's going to look fantastic. I really do. And you've just given such brilliant examples there, Harriet, of those real kind of authentic, high quality, meaningful experiences, and really enriching experiences that Artsmark really encourages settings to consider when they're planning their Artsmark journey, and how impactful those unique experiences are on pupils, and also in terms of raising aspirations as well. So that sounds absolutely brilliant. That sounds great.
I've just booked two more trips as well for the next couple of weeks. There's Michelangelo in Leeds exhibition, which is only down the road from here, where it's a recreation of the paintings in the Sistine Chapel, and on that kind of a scale. Now, these are the type of things that our students would not necessarily automatically be interested in, but seen differently and viewed differently, in the way that this exhibition has been planned, that could really make a difference to their understanding of somewhere completely different, completely different environment. And the other one is the Van Gogh Live exhibition, which is in Bradford at the moment. And again, it's a different way of viewing artwork, because it's projected, so it's immersive, and I don't think they will be able to help but absolutely love it and be amazed by it's done slightly technically, it's done slightly differently, but
it is. I had the privilege of seeing that actually when it was in York, and it was, I took my children to see it as well, and I was like, I don't know if they'll be into it or not, but it was incredible because it was so, as you say, Harriet, it's such a unique art form as well, and it felt so immersive as well. It felt like you literally felt like you were transported to another place when you were in that environment. It was absolutely brilliant. So I
think also particularly for young people who that's their, it's different from my life, but that is their life. That screen and the projection and the light, it's different to how I learn about art. And so it's great that it can be that transformed and transferred to them in a different way. Absolutely.
Looking at different kinds of art forms, including digital art forms, is fantastic. Such a fantastic opportunity, and to see it done as well, like so well, and so imaginatively, is you're going to have a fantastic experience, and so will they, going to see that. That's brilliant. Well, it certainly sounds like, Harriet, you have got so many exciting exciting adventures planned, more exciting adventures as part of your Artsmark journey, and I'm really looking forward to hearing all about it. I also want to say to everyone watching, if you have any questions at all that you would like to ask Harriet about anything that she said, you know, anything to do with her Artsmark journey, please get in touch with me. And Harriet has said that she's more than happy to answer any questions or chat to anyone. It might be that you work in a similar type of setting to Harriet. It might be that you've listened to Harriet and you think, actually, we've got, you know, that sounds very similar to our Artsmark journey or what we'd like to do. I'm really interested to learn more about that. Get in touch with me, and Harriet will be more than happy to have a chat with you. So thank you so much, Harriet, for this afternoon. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you. I wish you every success in your Artsmark journey. Everyone else, don't forget to tune in. We've got some more events going on this week as well. If you're not able to attend, obviously you can play back the recordings and watch those. Any Artsmark support or anything that you might need as well, just you should all have my email address, and just drop me a line and I'll give you any support that we can. But for now, thank you so much, Harriet, and good luck with everything. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.